Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the brushes that we've been playing with when we were working on the rocks. Hello. Um, so we just got a sphere here, right? And I'm just gonna make sure that I've got my Dynamesh on, and the resolution's decently high, just so that you've got some resolution to work with. If you need more, like as you sculpt, you can see if I press Shift F, you can see your wireframe. You can see it's getting a little low here. You just marquee in the marquee select in the background, and then it'll rerun the Dynamesh script. So I just kind of want to run over some of these brushes. So first off, if you're not using it, you need to get the Orbs brushes. They're super good. I'll show you some of the planar stuff that I use inside of that here in a minute. But definitely get those. They're free. I'll put a link in the description below. And just yeah. So some of the stuff to think about when you're sculpting these rocks is that you have like the standard brush, which is people don't think a lot about, but you can use that to kind of bring shapes out, right? If you need to get like your overall shape of your rock out of the way. And also don't forget that you've got your Alt key. All the brushes that I'm talking about today have some Alt function, just in the way that they react or how they are used or how they affect the mesh. Really can be a drastic change as you go forward from brush to brush. So don't forget to try out like how your brushes feel. So first off, standard's a nice brush, and then there's this other one called Snake Hook. Snake Hook I actually really like because it really allows you to just kind of work on form and not worry about much of like how the geometry has to move. It's very soft, so you can go quite large and just kind of get the shape you want. Just make sure you're checking all your sides so that things don't end up looking weird. And yeah, so that's Snake Hook. The other one that I want to talk about is the Trim Dynamic, or all the hidden brushes. So if you press comma, or you get to your panel here, there's a button here called Brushes, and there's tons of brushes in here that actually aren't in here. When you press B, they're just not here, right? And some of the ones that I'm really interested in are like Trim, and the Trim Smooth Border, which is a really nice one for chiseling sharp edges and making kind of like planar decisions. The cool part is if you have like, let's say you dip down like that, and you can see you have a little, let's get some more resolution in here. Let's do a little bit more. So you can see if you've got details like this and you need to take this plane and move it across there, if you hold Alt while you do that, it's sampling from where your brush was, and then you can kind of just, it's not perfect all the time, but you can use that to kind of control and push that edge further out. Now, one thing you'll notice about this brush is how soft the shape is that it's cutting. Like, sure, the edge is sharp, but you can see it's cutting on like more of like a rounded. This is like the look you get if you're chiseling on the edge of between two planes. But if you change the alpha, I almost always do this, is change the alpha to like a square. Or if you can load one up that's like a triangle, you can get some pretty interesting harder edges. So just by changing that, you're going to get quite a bit more edge detail that you would expect to see on rocks and whatnot. You can see like we're chiseling back the layers here, which kind of works in some cases, but in other scenarios you'll notice like you're trying to chisel this back and you're getting weird artifacts and stuff like that. And that's kind of where like the planar brush comes in. And you can use the planar brush. Again, I would probably add some type of alpha to it. But see, it's like once you're on this plane that you selected, you can kind of go back and just kind of search for little happy accidents of like details for like how rocks layer and whatnot. So yeah, the other ones that I was really interested in that kind of came up on stream was like the Crumble and the Flakes brush. So let's look at the Flakes brush really quick. So the Flakes brush is quite interesting just because it tries to retain the info that's already there, but then like allows you to kind of flake it or build it up a little bit. So you can start to discover and find other shapes this way. And then you go back to your flatten brush and you can tighten those up or use your trim smooth border and use that to refine those details that you're finding here. And remember, I'll keep switching between, you'll see Alt on the thing. And it's just like you're looking for stuff. You're looking for details that feel pretty organic and natural. And definitely when you have this, like I'm just kind of spitballing here, but definitely have reference up when you're working on this because like the rock type that you're going for is very important that you understand the shape language of that rock. Some of the other ones is like so if I press B and S, or B and D, and then S, you can see B, D will bring up any brushes that are a D. And then if you press S, this is the one you'll see there's like a little letter indicated by all of them. So if you start remembering like BMV is just the move brush, BDS is the damn standard brush. And this one's really, really nice if you want to like get some like sharper edge form. Like you want to carry this out a little bit or you want to sketch to just kind of see what's out there. And then you can maybe do your planar or your, your flatten. Also the focal shift will control how sharp these transitions can occur. I wonder the flatten with the alpha would be better. Anyways, so some of the other stuff is I was talking about Crumble earlier. This one was actually brought up on the stream. And that can be pretty interesting if you just want to move it with the direction opposite of where you want striations in your rock, because you can actually use this as like a sketch to see like where these edges are, and then you could clay build up from there and just start to find where those are at and press Alt and push those back. And then it's now you're reaching the point where it's like, okay, now that I have this information, like there's all types of shapes that you can find and work with. Now the Orbs brushes, they are freaking awesome, like really good. There's a Orbs Flatten Edge, which actually finds quite a bit of shape form for you. Let's see if I can. So you can see like how if I just start moving it around, it'll find faces and then just kind of work with them. And you can get some pretty magical hard edges quite quickly. And remember to try the Alt to see like what's out there. Because really it's like if you know exactly what you're making rock wise, I find it very it just doesn't come off very natural feeling unless you're really good at rocks. I mean, I'm not even that great right now. I'm just exploring, right? And so using these brushes, like you can see over here, it grabs onto planar directions and shifts rather easily if you just kind of scrub over stuff. If you scrub over edges. And then if you stay in a face area, it'll really sharpen that up. And so you can get some really nice faceted look really quickly. Some of the other stuff is like the rock detail, which I would suggest adding like near the end of your sculpting if you need like some extra surface information, and pay attention to like your Z strength and seeing where that's all at. And don't forget that you can hold down Control, mask some areas, right? And then if you tap in the background, Control tap in the background, you'll invert that mask. And then there's really good stuff like the Orbs noise, which allows you to just kind of, I'll display it without the mask as well. This can be really powerful as long as you're not going too crazy, because it's really important to have those areas of like smooth breakup combined with that noise. I'm sure I'm missing some brushes. I listed them out and then I was like, oh, this is getting too crazy. So I just want to mention some of the few that I'm finding really curious or interesting. The Orbs crack brush is also really good because it's got like a custom alpha, and then if you shrink it down, you can really like refine those edges, like if you needed a crack here. And then it's more about understanding the shape language for cracks. As you can see in his little thumbnail brush, it's really about understanding like what makes a crack look interesting. So like maybe there's a break here. Like how do you use that? But yeah, no, I just wanted to talk really quickly about some of the brushes we've been playing with on the stream, because there was a lot of really interesting suggestions, and I just kind of wanted to put them all together so that we had somewhere to like go back to or look at when it comes to this stuff. If you have any other brushes that you find really interesting, just throw them in the comments below, or like message me and we can talk about it on stream. Anyways, thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.